Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how men can act like they've seen it all, done it all, and nothing really surprises them anymore? But then in those private moments with you, suddenly their entire body language changes. They're hanging on your every move. Their breathing gets heavier. Their eyes can't leave you. And it's like they're completely under your spell. Now, here's the truth that most women don't realize when it comes to all intimacy. Men aren't just thinking about the physical sensation. Sure, that part matters, but what really makes them obsessed, what makes them beg for more, is the experience you create. It's about your confidence, your playfulness, the energy you bring into that moment. See, for men, certain oral positions aren't just about pleasure. They're about psychology. They make him feel desired. They make him feel vulnerable in the best way. And they make him think, this woman knows me better than anyone else ever could. That's why the right approach can make him not only crave you in the moment, but also think about you hours, days, even weeks later. And that's what today's video is all about. I'm going to share with you 5 oral positions that men secretly beg for. These are the ones that make him completely lose control, the ones he might not even admit he wants. But when you bring them into the bedroom, he'll never forget it. If you've ever wanted him to feel completely addicted to you, not just physically, but emotionally, what I'm about to share with you will unlock that power. So let's dive straight into number 1. When it comes to oral intimacy, the first position men secretly beg for is what I like to call the tease and control. And here's why this is so powerful. Most people assume men always want to be in control, especially in the bedroom. They picture men as the ones driving, leading, taking the initiative. But when you flip that dynamic, when you're the one guiding the moment, you completely shift the energy. Imagine this, you're kneeling in front of him, but instead of just rushing into it, you slow everything down. You look up at him. You let him feel the weight of your gaze. That moment of eye contact creates an intensity that is almost unbearable for him. In that second, he's not just turned on, he's transfixed. He feels like he's in your hands, and that mix of desire and vulnerability is intoxicating to him. The reason this works so well is because it combines 2 things men rarely get at the same time: physical pleasure and psychological surrender. On one hand, you're giving him something he craves deeply. On the other hand, you're showing that you are in control. You decide when, you decide how fast, you decide how much he gets. That tension between giving and holding back is what makes him beg for more. It's not about racing to the finish. It's about creating a journey that keeps him hanging on every second. Think about it like this. If you give someone their favorite dessert all at once, it's good, but it's over quickly. If you let them taste it, savor it, pull it away, then give it back again, suddenly the craving multiplies. That's exactly what happens here. Men are wired to love anticipation. When you mix oral pleasure with playful teasing, you're not just giving him a physical high, you're building suspense that amplifies the entire experience. But here's the hidden layer most women overlook. This position isn't just about technique, it's about presence. If you're doing it while distracted, self-conscious, or rushing, it won't have the same effect. What makes it unforgettable is when you're fully in the moment with him, when your eyes, your touch, your energy say, I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm enjoying every second of this. That confidence makes him melt. It's the difference between being physically satisfied and being emotionally addicted to you. And let me tell you, men talk about this more than you think. They might not say it out loud, but what they remember isn't just the act, it's the way she made him feel. She make him feel desired? Did she make him feel powerless in the best way? Did she make him feel like she had this magnetic power over him? If the answer is yes, that's the kind of experience he'll replay in his head long after. So when it comes to the tease and control, don't underestimate your power. Slow it down. Look him in the eye, take charge of the pace, and let him feel that delicious mix of pleasure and surrender. That's what will make him crave you more than anyone else. The second oral position that men secretly beg for is what I like to call the over the edge. Now, this one is powerful because it's not just about the act. It's about the environment you create and the vulnerability it puts him in. Picture this. He's sitting on the edge of the bed, or maybe on a chair, and you lower yourself between his legs. This position is electrifying for one simple reason. He feels completely exposed. There's no hiding, no distractions, no barriers between you and him. He's right there, on display, and you're the one in control of how the moment unfolds. What makes this so different from the traditional setup is that it changes his perspective completely. When a man is sitting on the edge, he's leaning back, often with nothing to do but feel. He can't distract himself, he can't take over, he can't control the pace. All of that is in your hands. That's why men love this position. It strips away the usual roles and gives him the chance to fully surrender to you. And here's what makes it even more exciting from this angle. He gets the perfect view of you. He can see your face, your confidence, the little expressions you make, and those visuals burn into his memory. It's not just stimulation, it's imprinting desire in his mind in a way that lasts. Now, here's where it gets even deeper. This position taps into a psychological fantasy men don't often talk about. Men spend so much of their lives in control, making decisions, putting on a tough exterior, holding everything together. But in this moment, sitting at the edge while you take over, he feels something he doesn't get anywhere else of freedom. Freedom to let go, freedom to be vulnerable, freedom to stop thinking and just feel. And that kind of release is something men secretly crave more than they admit. Another reason this is so effective is because it builds intensity quickly. The edge of the bed creates a sense of closeness, but also a slight imbalance. He's leaning back, maybe gripping the sheets, maybe holding onto the chair, and the physical setup makes him feel like he's literally on the brink of losing control. That's why I call it the over, the edge. It's not just physical, it's emotional. It puts him in that space where pleasure feels overwhelming and surrender feels irresistible. And here's the secret. If you mix in a little teasing here, pulling away just when he's getting close, slowing down when he wants more, you drive him absolutely crazy. That contrast between intensity and denial makes his mind spiral. He's thinking, what is she going to do next? When is she going to let me have it? That suspense alone can double the power of the entire experience. What men remember most from this position isn't just the pleasure, it's the helplessness in the best possible way. They remember the way you looked up at them while they were completely undone. They remember the trust, the power shift, and the way you made them feel like they were teetering right on the edge of ecstasy and couldn't do a thing about it. That memory stays with them long after the moment ends. So the edge isn't just a position, it's an experience. It's you saying, sit back, let go, and trust me. And that invitation, combined with your confidence and presence, is what makes him beg for it again and again. The third oral position men secretly beg for is what I call the dominant switch. And this one is exciting because it completely flips the script on what most people expect during intimacy. In most situations, when you think about oral, the woman is in the position of giving while the man is receiving. But when you reverse that angle, when he lies back and you position yourself on top, you're no longer just giving, you're taking control in a way that is both visually and emotionally powerful. Here's why this position drives men wild. It gives him the perfect view. From beneath you, he sees everything, your confidence, your expression, the way you're enjoying the moment. Men are highly visual creatures, and when you combine intimacy with the side of you owning your sensuality, it leaves a lasting mark. To him, it's not just the act, it's the memory of how you looked, how you moved, and how completely in control you were. But it goes even deeper than that. The dominant switch appeals to a part of him that loves the idea of being overtaken by your energy. Men are often taught to always be in charge, always be the one leading. But when you climb on top and flip that power dynamic, it creates an intoxicating contrast. He doesn't feel emasculated, he feels liberated. He gets to surrender control to you, and that mix of powerlessness and excitement is what makes this position unforgettable. Another layer of this position is how it impacts you. When you're on top, you can dictate the pace, the rhythm, the intensity. You can decide when to slow down, when to speed up, when to pause just to tease him. This level of control amplifies his anticipation and makes him hyper aware of every movement you make. And the more you control the experience, the more he feels addicted to your touch. There's also an emotional side to this that men rarely admit they love when a woman shows confidence in her body and her sexuality. Being on top is a bold move. It says, I know what I'm doing and I want you to enjoy watching me. That kind of boldness doesn't just turn him on, it makes him respect you on a deeper level. He feels like he's with a woman who isn't afraid to own her desires, and that's a powerful attraction. What's really fascinating is how this position changes the way he experiences intimacy with you. Instead of lying back passively, he's completely focused on you. He sees you from a perspective that makes him feel like he's witnessing something special, something just for him. And because he feels chosen in that moment, chosen to receive this confident, dominant energy, he ties that memory to you in a way that lingers long after. The dominant switch isn't just about giving him pleasure, it's about making him feel like he's with a woman who's adventurous, confident, and unapologetically powerful. And that combination doesn't just excite him in the moment, it makes him crave you whenever he thinks about intimacy. It becomes more than just a position, it becomes a fantasy he'll want to relive with you again and again. The fourth oral position men secretly beg for is what I call the side lying sensation. Now, this one often gets overlooked because it's not as obvious or as flashy as some of the others. But here's the secret. It creates a level of intimacy that most positions can't even touch. Imagine this instead of one of you being above or below. You're both lying down on your sides facing each other, bodies pressed close together. There's this closeness, this skin on skin contact that immediately changes the entire energy of the moment. What men love about this is how it feels less like a performance and more like a shared experience. He's not just receiving pleasure, he's also wrapped up in your embrace, looking into your eyes, feeling your body against his. It's raw and intimate in a way that makes him feel not just aroused, but deeply connected to you. And connection is something men don't often admit they crave in the bedroom, but it's one of the most powerful things that bonds them to a woman. In this position, you also have incredible freedom. You can keep it slow and sensual, making it about tenderness, or you can turn up the intensity while still holding him close. The closeness means he can touch you, feel you, hold your hair, stroke your back. Every sense is involved, not just the physical pleasure. That sensory overload is what makes this position stick in his mind long after. Another thing that makes the side-lying sensation so addictive is the eye contact. When you're face to face like that, he sees you up close in a way that feels incredibly vulnerable and real. That eye contact tells him, this moment is just for us. And that's where the emotional bond gets created. Pleasure alone is powerful, but when you add intimacy into it, when you let him see your eyes, your expressions, your closeness, it elevates the entire experience from something physical to something unforgettable. Men beg for this position, even if they don't say it out loud, because it makes them feel both desired and connected. It's not just about his body, it's about his heart. And here's something important to understand. A man may chase physical pleasure from anyone, but the moments he remembers, the ones he attaches real meaning to, are the ones where he felt a genuine emotional connection. This position gives him that in a way nothing else does. It's also incredibly comfortable and sustainable, which means it's not rushed. There's time to explore, to tease, to play. That unhurried pace communicates something to him that you're enjoying the moment too. That it's not just about getting to the end, but about being fully present with him. That presence is intoxicating. So while other positions might make him feel overwhelmed or completely surrendered, the side lying sensation makes him feel close. It makes him feel like you're not just giving him pleasure, but sharing yourself with him. And that, more than anything, is what makes this one of the positions men secretly beg for. It's the fusion of passion and intimacy that makes him feel like he can never get enough of you. The fifth oral position men secretly beg for is what I call the 360 degrees experience. This one is all about variety, creativity, and playfulness. It's not just a single position. It's the idea of moving around him, exploring different angles, and making the whole experience feel like a journey instead of a routine. And here's why men love it so much it keeps them guessing. Instead of predictability, you give him the thrill of surprise, and that unpredictability is addictive. Imagine you start in one position, giving him eye contact and control like we talked about earlier, and then without warning, you switch angles. Maybe you slide to the side, maybe you come from behind, maybe you straddle over him. Each new shift changes how he feels, how he sees you, and how much anticipation builds in his body. Men are wired to crave novelty, and when you give him that variety, he doesn't just enjoy it physically. His mind goes wild trying to keep up with what you'll do next. The beauty of the 360 experience is that it blends every dynamic into one. In one moment, he might feel powerful watching you, and in the next, he feels completely powerless because you've taken the control. That constant switching keeps him in this state of excitement where he can't settle in. He's always on edge, always craving the next move. And that's exactly why he'll beg for it, because it's not just an act, it's an adventure. But let's be clear, this isn't about rushing through positions like a checklist. What makes the 360 so irresistible is the way you move with confidence, the way you make every transition smooth and intentional. It's the way you smile at him before shifting, the playful look in your eyes that says, "You're mine, and I know exactly how to drive you crazy." That attitude alone multiplies the effect of every move you make. Another layer to this is how it communicates something powerful about you as a partner. When you explore different angles, you're showing him that you're creative, adventurous, and comfortable with your sexuality. That kind of openness is incredibly attractive to men. It tells him, "I'm not afraid to have fun. I'm not afraid to experiment, and I'm not afraid to own this moment." And that energy is unforgettable. The other reason men beg for this experience is because it makes them feel special. Think about it when you go out of your way to create variety, to bring playfulness and creativity into the bedroom. He feels like you're not just doing it for anyone, you're doing it for him. That personal attention makes him feel chosen, and that feeling is just as intoxicating as the physical pleasure. At the end of the day, the 360 experience is less about technique and more about presence, confidence, and creativity. It's about showing him that being with you is never predictable, never boring, and always full of excitement. When he leaves that experience, he's not just satisfied, he's hooked. He's thinking about it the next day, the next week, replaying it in his head, because it wasn't just one position, it was an unforgettable ride that only you could give him. That's why the 360 experience is the one men secretly beg for. It's not just pleasure, it's a memory of fantasy and a craving all rolled into one. So here's the big takeaway from everything we've talked about today. It's not just about the positions. Yes, these 5, the tease and control, the over, the edge, the dominant switch, the side lying sensation, and the 360 experience are positions men secretly beg for. But what truly makes them unforgettable isn't just the physical technique, it's you. It's your confidence, your playfulness, your presence, and the way you carry yourself in those moments. A man doesn't become addicted to you because you did something perfectly. He becomes addicted because you gave him an experience no one else could give, because you weren't just trying to please him. You were owning your feminine power, enjoying yourself, and letting him feel both desired and vulnerable in ways he rarely gets to feel. That's what he remembers. That's what makes him crave you long after the moment is over. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just think of these as positions. Think of them as opportunities. Opportunities to connect, to play, to tease, and to show up with the confidence that says, "I know exactly who I am, and I know exactly how to drive you crazy. And now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 you think will absolutely blow his mind. Or if you're brave, share which one you're most excited to try first. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And remember, this channel isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about building real connection, real attraction, and real confidence that makes you irresistible in every area of your life. Until next time, stay confident, stay playful, and go give him an experience he'll never forget.